Hello, my name is Caroline Belgrave. I'm a senior trainer and formerly a business development and education coach and mentor with Nexion Travel Group. Today I want to talk about my experience visiting Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, and share a few tips. So my trip took place in August, which for us in North America is summer, but in Zimbabwe it's winter. So my first tip is pack for the season. Mornings tend to be a little bit chilly, so have light jackets or warm clothing for those chilly mornings. For example, with us, we did a game drive early in the morning at 6 a.m. and it was quite chilly. But the beauty of our game drive was that we had our 10-seater vehicle Jeep all to ourselves, which meant we had a very private, intimate, and exclusive game drive experience. That was all coordinated through Wild Horizons, which also coordinated our stay at the elephant camp, which is actually an elephant sanctuary. So at the elephant camp, it is a tented resort. It is a luxury accommodation, and each of the tented individual sites has its own plunge pool on the deck, an outdoor shower, as well as one indoor, a clawfoot tub, and other amenities, including that mesh netting, which takes you back to those nostalgic African safari experiences. So it was 5-star dining and accommodations at the Elephant Sanctuary. But one of the really beautiful and little touches that I liked at the Elephant Camp was that every time we arrived or departed from the facilities, there was staff, including a member of management, that were waiting for us as our vehicles pulled up. It was just those little touches that elevated our experience at the Elephant Camp. Wild Horizons also coordinated other activities for us, including our zip lining at Zimbabwe in Victoria Falls. They also coordinated our bomba dinner, where we got to eat the Maori room, which is a local delicacy. I absolutely encourage you to try it. They're quite crunchy. They also coordinated our tour of Victoria Falls. More on that in just a minute. So back to the falls. The falls is such a powerful, amazing, vast wonder of our planet. And we had a private guide that, again, was facilitated through Wild Horizons. So not only did we hear about, the history of Dr. Livingston, but we also got to hear about the tribes and local community before Dr. Livingston was even there. Keep in mind as well that the volume of the falls will depend on the time of the year that you go. So the water levels could be higher or lower depending on the season that you go there. One of the other things that we really enjoyed, besides the phenomenal, amazing Victoria Falls, was that we could also visit some of the local communities and other animal sanctuaries and conservation there, and you could take part and really immerse yourself in being a part of the community. So the fun thing that we did there was going to do the bomba dinner, and the zip lining for sure was a highlight. But one of the tools that I want to recommend to you is using Sherpa. Sherpa not only will help you see what your COVID requirements are for the countries that you're visiting, but it will also tell you what the visa requirements are, and it will take you immediately to the visa application form. This one is a really great tip for visiting Victoria Falls, because at the Victoria Falls Airport, the internet can be spotty, and purchasing your visa on arrival can have a variety of different implications. One, you may not be able to process your credit card. The other thing, the price of your visa, your tourist visa, could be impacted. So for example, we saw people that had their visa, they did it prior to arrival, and the cost was $45 Canadian, versus if you do it on arrival, it skyrocketed up to $75, or those that struggled because there was no internet and no bank machine at the Victoria Falls Airport. So keep that in mind. As well as coordinating our activities, the Wild Horizons also coordinated our COVID testing that it aligned with the time that we had to depart. And Victoria Falls actually had one of the most inexpensive test costs for COVID at $40 US. And again, that was at the time of our travel, and that could fluctuate. When you are visiting Victoria Falls, if you have the time to do the tour of the falls from a helicopter, you get the best vantage point from that aerial view, but also surrounding the area, you could go to other countries and you will need a PCR test to go across those borders. So make sure that you're working with your tour operator or the property that you're staying at to ensure that you have a valid PCR test. It's typically 72 hours to cross into those other borders. One of the other activities, two of the other activities that we did was we got to do a river cruise on the Zambezi River, and there was just 3 other people on our ship as we were sailing, did a sunset sailing, and we got food and beverages, and we got to see all of the different animals as we were sailing down the Zambezi River and hearing about how the other surrounding communities utilize that river. And we got to have cocktails on the gorge, which was an outdoor bar set up with nibbles and other treats where we got to see the sun setting and enjoy that beautiful sky and the sunset there. And many of our activities, these were just a few, were coordinated by Wild Horizons, on the property where we stayed, the elephant camp. So Victoria Falls needs you, Zimbabwe needs you, and they welcome you. And it was a beautiful experience for myself and my traveler. So I wish for you to explore it, get out there, and safe travels.